So let's start with IoT. So we're going to understand what is IoT first. IoT is the combination of hardware and software technology that creates trillions of data with devices and sensors. Uh, Anything can be the IoT device if it can store and transfer the data over the cloud. So these data continuously collect the data. For example, 24/7 it will collect the data. After the period of time, for example, 30 of 1 month or 6 months, you can collect the whole data and you can analyze the data and you're able to identify or you're able to get some meaningful insight. Using this information, you can take some corrective or preventive action. Okay, so that helps for maintenance or that helps for any kind of correction mechanism for a system. A wide and cheap variety of sensors like wearable, implantable, and environmental sensors that make the possibility to create a new kind of system called Internet of Medical Things. So we're going to talk about it. So again, now I'm going to use this term called IoMT. So Internet of Medical Things is a combination of medical applications and services. It also includes the medical devices. So I'm going to use this term Internet of Medical Things. So it includes the medical devices as well. So what is IoMT and what are the benefits of IoMT? What we can do with this IoMT? IoMT is using IoMT, you can track the drug usage of the patient. The doctor can monitor the health condition of the patient from the remote side. The continuous support of these IoMT data connections helps the doctors to diagnose the patient disease in an earlier and accurate manner. The ambient assistant living is one kind of services that is available in the IoMT, helps the old age people to take care of themselves. So what these systems will do, these systems keep on collecting the data from the devices, that different healthcare parameters. So this data is going to be stored in the cloud. So when we get large amount of data, so artificial intelligence obviously require data. If there is more number of data, you will get more accuracy, more prediction, more classification, more recommendation. Okay, so the usefulness of the when you leverage the AI for your system, when you get lot of data, you can feed into the machine learning. It will give lot of good results. So this IoMT is going to be the basic building block for generating the data. So here the major applications and services of the IoMTs are, um, there are many. So when it comes to application, there are two major categories: single purpose and multi-purpose. Single purpose is nothing but single parameter applications, like identifying only the glucose level sensing, ECG monitoring, blood pressure monitoring, body temperature monitoring. Cluster purpose is nothing but the multi stage applications. It collects, it connected with two or more single purpose application like rehabilitation system or medication management. Then when it comes to services, ambient assistant living, internet, health, or emergency systems, wearable device access, these are all the services that are available under IoMT. These all will collect the data, but the major concern is the security. So why IoMT device security is very, very important. Okay, so there are three major things. FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, or Administration America, estimated that out of 1,000 IoMT devices in use, 164 devices are subject to attack. So what is the point? If any one of the device in your network is hacked, attacker can intrude into your network and they can exploit the entire network. They can leverage the access that can they can get the access of the entire network. They can manipulate the data. So since these healthcare data are more sensitive, if these data are breached or manipulated, it will lead to major impact. So that is the main thing. Second major issue is the concern in the medical device manufacturing. 17% of medical device manufacturers are following the industry device security standards. It's nothing but FDA guidelines. So the same FDA, every year, for example, 2024 also, they have released the updated standards or guidelines for manufacturing the medical devices, especially the software, the FIMOS, with respect to the security. So if they are failing to adapt these guidelines or configuration mistakes that lead to security attacks, that will create the vulnerability. Obviously the vulnerability will lead to security attacks. Then major security breaches. The Quist reported in 2019 that around 11.9 million patient records were potentially breached by AMCA, American Medical records. The data breach happened and it directly affected 7.7 million patients. It was a huge breach. Sorry, it was a huge breach. So, major security breaches, the lack of device manufacturing considerations, and the FDA security attacks. The FDA mentioned the security attacks or impact the creating the essential or need of this medical device security. Okay, if attackers are targeting medical device, what is the reason? Okay, why medical device and medical data are more targeted to cybersecurity? To understand this, we need to understand this major area of the internet. So we need to understand first internet. So we can classify the internet usage in three major categories, that is surface web, deep web, and dark web. Surface web is what we are using. Okay, so whatever you do in the internet, Twitter, Instagram, Google, Chat, GPT, whatever you are doing, whatever the data you are taking right from the internet, that is surface web. That is just a 4%. The second major two areas are deep web and dark web. That is the 96% of the data. For example, in deep web or medical related healthcare related EHR data are available. So only with the proper permission and access, we can able to access it. So that is what the deep web access. So without the proper credential or access, you are not able to access those data. The third area is a very dangerous area that is called dark web. It consists of more than 50 to 60% of data are available. These all data are illegal. So we can say illegal. The reason is, so whatever the data breaches happened in the surface web, that will be directly come into this dark web for various purposes. For example, the attackers use it for the attacker do attack for spy the competitive organization, or they do it for money. They do it to be famous in their area, or um, to test their skill set, or to compete, to overtake their competitors. For many reasons, they do attack. So whatever the attack they do, the end of the day, all this data will come into the dark web. They will sell those data to the another company or whoever requests. So in this area, all are anonymous. So the anonymous sender will send the data to the anonymous, or they will sell the data to the anonymous receiver. So identity will be very difficult. So this type of website or internet can be accessed only to the Onion or Tor. Okay, so Onion websites you can be browsed and accessed through the Tor. So this is a different area, and we don't have much idea about this, but this is the reason behind major amount of security attacks. So basically, why they are doing attack? There is a valuable data, and there is a weak in security, and it's going to be the attractive target. Okay, so the medical device or medical data, EHR data is more black market value compared to the credit card data. So they are valuable data. Weak security, medical device securities are very weak. We have already seen, and it's going to be the another attractive target for the attacker. So they are simply targeting this medical data, and they are stealing this data and sending or selling the data in the dark web. Okay. So now we'll move on to the IoT medical device security. So it's something like a cyber security, but here it involves, it's a process, it's a procedure to protecting the connected healthcare devices like insulin pumps, pacemakers, ICDs. Those are the devices that are connected to the internet, and they are keep on sending the data to the server. So these data are attacked by the cyber threats. So let's talk about what is cyber threat. So security is nothing but ensuring the patient's confidentiality, device integrity, and reliable operation by giving a strong security mechanism to all these devices. So cyber threat can be classified into many areas. I'm not going to explain each and everything because it's a time consuming process, but in a nutshell, I will give you a small idea. Threat is nothing but uh, it will make you feel uncomfortable. For example, you are using your mobile, you are feeling like someone is recording your screen, someone is watching your WhatsApp chat, someone is watching your Instagram feed. So whatever you are doing in your mobile, someone is monitoring or capturing or screen recording means it will make you uncomfortable. Okay, so that is what the threat actually is. So threat are different types, and the people who are involved or the people who are creating that particular attack is called threat actors. Okay, So these all are threat actors. So the threat actors are magically classified into three major areas, that is black hat, gray hat, and white hat. So black hat means they are evil. They will attack with cyber security system, and they will breach into the system. They will steal the data. They will take the access of the device, and they will do harm to the system. At the same time, white hat, they are completely opposite. They will also do the same thing, but for good cause. Okay, so that is what white hat. Gray hat, they will fall in between black hat and white hat. So they do the same thing, but uh, the activity will depend upon who sponsor to them. For example, the sponsor is a good person, they will do it for a good cause. The sponsor is a terrorist or some bad agenda behind that, then that is nothing but the result is going to be the bad one. So that is what gray hat hacker. So these are the three major hackers. What they will do, they do attacks. So in order to secure our medical device system, definitely we need to understand this. So who is the attacker and what are the types of attack, and we have different types of medical devices in our healthcare system. Each and every system has vulnerable to a particular type of attack. So all these devices are interconnected. When it comes to IoT based medical devices, all these devices are interconnected, and through this gateway, all these devices are going to be connected with the cloud. So if one device is breached, one device is attacked, it's easy for attacker to enter into the system. They can spread around the network and they can destroy the entire system. So this is the main idea. We need to understand each and every aspect of this cybersecurity concept. So let me talk about attack. Attack can be classified into two major types, that is active attack and passive attack. Active attack means, so there are two entities, there is a sender, there is a receiver. So there is a man in the middle. Man in the middle is nothing but the attacker. So what he will do, he take the data from the sender and he will modify the data and send back the modified data to the receiver. So obviously he will actively participate in the data transmission and he will modify the data. So the modified data will receive. This is called active attack or modification of the message. So this is the concept. So based on this concept, there are so many attacks are there. In our real time also, we are facing different types of active attacks in day-to-day life. So one type of attack is called masquerading. Masquerade means wearing the mask of the another person. So in this case, sender is sending the data to the receiver. For example, a patient continuously sending the internet-enabled IoT device and from health parameters to the doctor. Receiver is the doctor. A man in the middle, a masquerader, what he will do, he will pretend like a receiver. He will wear the mask of the receiver. He will receive the data from the sender. He will modify it, or he will tamper the parameters. For example, the temperature is particular degree Celsius. He will change that temperature and send to the receiver. So the patient will be in a critical condition, but the doctor believes that the patient is in a normal condition because he getting the wrong data. So this is called masquerading is all about. So once the device that is available in the patient is compromised, they can the masquerader can change the data and send back the data to the receiver. So this is the one of the worst attack. Then another important attack in medical area is called DOS and DDoS. So here, for your understanding, I have using a client server model. But in normal case, we use different types of medical devices at the left side, and the server is nothing but the cloud area where the data are stored, and from the cloud all this data will be fetched into the client side application. The clients are nothing but the caregivers, staff nurse, or doctors, so who are using that healthcare service. The first attack is DOS. DOS is nothing but denial of service. It's the name itself, it has a meaning. It's going to deny the service. How it's going to deny the service? The client will send n number of requests to the server. The server will not able to give the response to the client. So for example, every day at 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. we do tackle booking in the IRCTC portal. So before the 10 o'clock or before that 11 o'clock, the system will be very good. You can open the system, open the website, you can log in and you can check the train, source, destination, everything, timing, you can do whatever you want. But exactly 10 o'clock, the system will go down. The reason is there are n number of requests that is hitting the server. The server is unable to give the response to the client. So this is called denying the service. Okay. So if the single system doing it, that is called device. If multiple system coordinatively doing and trying to attack the server, that is called distributed denial of service. Okay. So that's just for understanding. I'm telling it's not a attack. Okay. So it's a process. But attack means what will happen? A attacker will write one code. That code is nothing but the virus or a worm. So virus worm, I will explain it later. So virus worm, everything comes under the malware category. This is a piece of code. That code will change your system's behavior. It will take control of the system, and instead of the original user, it will give the control or access to the attacker. So attacker will access the computer, not a one computer, not a two computer, whatever, how many computers are available in the network, the entire computer systems will be compromised by the attacker. For example, attacker will write one worm or virus code. That virus code is nothing but the Trojanous. You can take, for example, I will explain what is Trojanous. The Trojanous will go to the controller. The controller will spread those Trojanous to the entire system that is available in the network. These all devices will become a bots. Okay, so bots is nothing but zombies. So these bots will act as a uh, compromised system. So it will not obey the users, that original users commands. It will obey only the attacker's command. So what the attacker will do, he will give one destination address. This is the victim. This is the IRCT's website. You go and give a lot of requests to the particular website. Like that, if the attacker compromising thousands and thousands of devices around the world that are connected to the internet, means what will happen? You just imagine. So if the system is not able to give service for that much request, it will go down. It will go shut down. That is what denial of service attack. It's one of the worst attack in medical scenario. If a particular device, for example, if you take pacemaker, if you take insulin pump, that is implanted insulin pump or drug delivery system or cardio ICDs or a gastro simulator. So whatever the device you take, so they are connected. They are very lightweight devices. They are connected with Bluetooth or Wi-Fi to the external devices. So if there are more number of data coming to that devices, definitely they will not give a proper service to the patient. Okay, so this is the main problem when it comes to device attack. So let's move on to the another type of attack, that is called passive attack. So in this also the same scenario, sender sending the data to the receiver, but the third party, the man in the middle, simply listen the data, but he will not actively participate in the communication. It means he will not modify the data. So instead, what he will do, he keep on collect the data, he will store it, but he will not do any activity. Then what is the purpose? The purpose is he will keep on collecting this data for a long time. So when the attacker want to attack the system, at that time, excuse me, at that time the attacker will move from passive attack to active attack. Okay. Okay. So one of the best example is eavesdropping. Okay. So we have speakers in our home like Alexa or Siri. So, for example, the ChatGPT voice assistant, everything keep on listening our commands, communications, whatever we speak, they keep on listening. Uh, when you when you ask, okay, Google, your system will start. When you ask Siri, the Siri will start responding to you. It means what? It keep on listening you. It's kind of eavesdropping, but they won't actively take the data for any hacking activity. But what they will do it for advertisement. Okay, like they will convert those data for analyzing your behavior, analyzing your mental activities, and according to that, they will show the advertisement in your mobile phone or whatever the ecosystem you use. But in medical scenario, it's very very dangerous. Okay, so when you use is when the attacker uses the passive attacking mechanism, okay, so that will be very dangerous because they are keep on listening the health parameters of the patient. So at any point of time that they can take access to the device and they can create that. So these are all the malware categories. Virus is the piece of code. It's a corrupted code. It will enter into the system, but so what will happen is it read some medium. Okay, so it needs some file. So it will go and sit in a file. Whenever that file is accessed, the virus will spread itself and it will spread across the device and across the network. The next one is the worm. Worm is also similar like virus, but worm doesn't read any medium. Okay, so worm can spread by itself. So it's a standalone malware. It will replicate to another device, and it will compromise the entire device. Okay, so just understand the concept of virus and worm. Let's move on to the botnet. So botnet is very important for DOS and DDoS attack that we have discussed earlier. So it used to perform distributed denial of service attack and steal the data, and spam allow the attackers to access the device in a connection. Okay. So as I said, you can see the 1, 2, 3, 4. One is attacker sending the Trojanous virus to the system. So once the system is compromised, it will spread as a worm to another system, the entire system will be compromised. If the attacker is the gray attacker or black attacker, someone sponsoring some money to that attacker, they want to do DDoS attack with a particular target. The attacker, what he will do, he will create the attack, then n number of requests will go and hit the server. For example, you can take medical device, so that you will reach the medical device, the medical device will go shut down. So that is the idea behind DDoS attack. So this kind of concept is called botnet. Then another major issue in medical area or health record storage place is called ransomware. Ransom is kind of malware problem. So what it will do, the attacker will send the piece of code to the system that code will encrypt all the data available in the system. Okay, so instead of opening the system, what it will do, it will create one screen. For example, here you can see the image WannaCry decrypt 1.0. The WannaCry is the malware. So that particular malware was injected into that system. All your data are encrypted. When you turn on your computer on a fine day, fine morning, you're going back to your hospital and you're opening your system. So you're getting this screen. The screen is nothing but it mentioning that you are under attack. You are under attack. The attack name called WannaCry. The WannaCry is nothing but ransomware attack. So what they are doing, they are ransom. They are asking some money. So they are showing some time limit here. They are showing some money here. They are showing some deadline here. So you have to pay some money, not in terms of INR or dollars. You have to pay the money in terms of the Bitcoin. Okay. So they will show some wallet ID. You need to pay the money to the wallet. So that money is going to be very huge. If you pay that money, what will happen? They will say I will decrypt all the data and you will be able to access the data. If you are not paying the money, what will happen? So that is also there. You can recover the file if you pay the money. Otherwise, they will delete the entire data. So this is what the ransom, that particular attack will do. So this particular attack was very popular during the COVID scenario. Many hospitals were went to this ransomware attack and they have become a victim, and most of the systems were become bankrupt. So this is very, very dangerous, and we need to identify the vulnerabilities in our system. We need to be ready for this kind of ransomware, and we need to mitigate it. Okay, so it's simple concept. When you pay the money, the encrypted data will be decrypted and given to you. If not, it will be deleted. But most of the case, what will happen, even if you pay the money, the data will be deleted. So that's what happened in most of the cases in the ransomware. So this is a kind of attack. Okay, so this is all about the security attacks. So far, we have understood what is IoT. IoT is the device that is connected to the internet, keep on collecting the data and send it to the cloud. So using the data analytics process, we can get some insight and we can give some clear treatment, improved treatment to the patient. This is one concept. So here in this concept, there are so many vulnerabilities. So attackers use that vulnerability to take the sensitive data and they will sell it in the black market. So that is the main aim for them. If for a competitive purpose or for a money purpose, they're doing that activity. Okay. So now we know there is an attack, there is a system. How to make ready to defend these kind of attacks? Okay, how to make strengthen our system to defend this attack It's a very, very tedious task. To do this, to identify the major impact creating security attack, we need to do the risk assessment. So this is a very important area. We are moving to the research part. IoMT security risk assessment. So risk assessment is nothing but identify the major impact creating security attack in the medical device area. So there are so many medical devices, for example, implantable medical devices like pacemakers, insulin pumps, and cardiac defibrillator, catheter simulator, and some of the wearable devices are there, RFID sensors, and external wearable devices are there, smartwatches, and many medical devices that can be placed externally and keep on monitoring the health parameter of the patient. Okay, so how to know which attack is more dangerous to the particular device? Because each and every device need to be secure. Okay, so to understand this, we need to classify the security level of each and every system. So the system consists of all the medical devices. Okay, so I'm not talking about a single medical device here. I'm talking about the network of medical device. Okay, so if you're going for a patient care, so there are so many medical devices that are incorporated in that room. So each and everything giving some kind of contribution to the patient. So some kind of parameter identification, and those parameters will be recorded manually now. But IoMT is the concept of connected to the internet. It will be connected to the central server, and you no need to take the observation each and every time period. So it will be collected continuously. The whole data, the dashboard will be available for the staff nurse. They can analyze those parameters. According to that, they can give the treatment and medications. So here the classification in terms to medical device network. So the network, when it comes to network, so there are 5 major layers: business layer, application layer, middleware layer, network layer, and precision layer. So we can talk from precision to business. Security attack methods, there are different types: malware, software bugs, hardware defect. So each and everything we need to be considered. Then origin of the attack, whether the attack is coming from the insider or remote place. Types of the security attack, either active or passive, just before we have discussed. Types of security attacks, either it is a group attack is very dangerous, individual attack means it's the difficulty level will be easy, and national or sponsored attack is very, very difficult. So we need to classify that thing also. Then attack impact, sensitive data explosion, loss of life, brand value loss, and financial loss. So it's very, very important area. So what will happen if medical device is hacked or medical data is leaked? So it will create huge impact. The impact can be classified in 3 types. That is financial loss. Okay, so financial loss to the healthcare organization, that is one of the major thing, but it can be recovered. Then brand value loss. The healthcare organization will lose the brand value, but it will also regain. But loss of life. If a pacemaker is hacked, if the insulin pump is hacked, if any implanted device is hacked, it will lead to the loss of life. It will lead to the critical conditions to the patient. Because you cannot simply remove the device. It's implant. It's inside the body. You need to do operation and you need to remove the device. So it's very tedious task. So before that, the device should not give any harm to the patient. If the ICD is hacked, the ICD pulse has been increased means it gives high so high temperature, high values to the high value parameters to the heart means definitely it will lead to the very dangerous situation. So these are all the things we need to consider. So that is high impact creating security attack, loss of life. So 3 things: brand value loss, financial loss, and loss of life. So these are the classification. So with this classifications, so I have comprehensively analyzed many medical devices, and so for each and every devices, different kind of attacks have happened. For example, RFID attacks, IMDs. IMDs is nothing but implanted medical devices, comes under the various categories. There are so many medical devices are there. For example, cardiac defibrillator, pacemakers, insulin pumps, glucose monitoring system. So many things are there. So those are comes under the IMDs. Then RFID tags and ICDs. So security issues is nothing but there are various level of security issues. The security issues also classified into 3 areas in the network. One is the entry point, that is authentication issue. Okay, whether we are giving the right access to the right person. Then we'll move on to the network level, that is communication level. So, like Alice sending the data to the Bob, patient sending the data to the doctor. In between that, if there is any security issue, that is the second part. Then third area is the storage. So where these healthcare data are stored, cloud. So in this area, we need to improve the security. This is the three major area. So based on these three major area, different security issues has been identified, and attack difficulty level also mentioned here. There are different types of attack difficulty. Attack difficulty is nothing but, in the classification we have mentioned, local attack or remote attack. Remote attack means it will be difficult, whether group attack or single attack or state sponsored attack. So that is state sponsored attack, it will be very very difficult. So like the difficulty level is also identified and some weightage has been given. Awareness is very important thing. If a patient or if a doctor or staff nurse know how to use the device, also what are the security issues will happen, and if a particular issue is happen, how to respond to it. For example, instant response. Uh, if they if if they get a knowledge about the particular medical device is hacked, so what they have to do, either they have to turn off the device, either they have to turn off the service, or what is the next step, what is the response to that particular instance, that is called awareness. How to prevent it is the second category. The protection on the reactive mechanism is the important area here. So awareness is nothing but, once a particular incident has happened, they need to respond to that particular attack in a wise, clever way. Okay, so that is what awareness. So if they are very much aware about the system, the weightage level will be something in between 1 to 10. Okay, based on that high level less value, the different values has been assigned for the particular attack on the particular device. Impact. So as I already said, there are three major impact: loss of life, brand value loss, and financial loss. According to the each and every attack has been classified. So this is a formula to identify or um, find the risk factor. So the risk factor is nothing but probability into impact. So what is the probability of that particular attack to happen into that particular device? Here M is the device. Um, so then once this particular attack has happened, what is the impact? Either it will go to loss of life or brand value loss or financial loss, that we need to identify. So these are the three major things we need to identify in order to find the risk impact. So in this, the P of I is the attack, P is the probability. Probability is nothing but the likelihood. To identify the likelihood, we need to use this formula. So we can replace this P of I value here, and we will be able to identify the risk factor value. Okay, so by classifying or by analyzing this 23 medical devices and its security attacks, we able to get the high impact creating security attack. So here is the risk factor for various security attacks on the medical devices. So compared to other devices and attacks, the ICDs and pacemakers with radio and DDoS attack getting the high impact, that is 97%, sorry, not a impact, high risk factor, that is 95% of risk factor compared to the other caster simulator, insulin pump or RFID attacks. Okay. Then awareness also very less. Then the attack difficulty level also very very difficult. So this is how this particular device has the high risk factor. So we need to give more concentration on ICDs and pacemakers when it comes to internet enabled medical device security. So let's talk about the impact. So what type of impact it will create if a particular medical device is compromised to the attacker. Um, the security impact on medical devices can be classified into three major security attacks, that is TTOS, wireless attack, and device hijacking and unauthorized access. If a particular device is compromised to TTOS attack, not a particular device, ICDs or pacemakers is compromised to DDoS attack, the impact value is 10, that is loss of life. If the insulin pump is compromised to the device hijacking attack, the impact is going to the loss of life. It's very, very high impact. So we need to give more concentration to this particular risk. Okay. So in this way, we can identify the risk for a particular medical device and its security attack and its impact and risk factor. According to that, we will be able to give the security solution. So here we'll finally we'll come to the theme of our faculty development program: how to leverage a artificial intelligence to give a concrete security to this kind of security vulnerabilities on medical devices. So all these five major attacks what we have analyzed here is mentioned here. So that is nothing but radio attack, DDoS attack, wireless attack, device hijacking, and unauthorized access. So let me talk about one by one. Radio attack. A radio attack, it uses the radio waves, RF signals. Okay, so it's a kind of side channel attack. A device keep on producing some kind of radio frequencies, and using the receivers, if you're able to capture the radio frequency based on the pattern, you can create a attack. Okay, so if there is any unusual RF signal happens in that particular device, using a deep learning to learn that particular type of RF signal and classify the abnormal radio waves pattern with the help of CNN and RNN, you can detect and block the radio intrusion. This is a kind of mitigation strategy by understanding the radio signal, and you can include the CNN or RNN, and you can detect and block the radio intrusion. This is a recommendation I'm giving. I am not giving the concrete solution. Okay, so if the attack is radio attack and the attack method is RF signal identification, so we can use RNN or CNN. Okay, so I'm not giving the concrete recommendation, but it's a kind of suggestion I'm giving. Okay, so in this way, we can leverage the artificial intelligence to give the mitigation or concrete security to the IoT based medical device applications. Then DDoS attack. It's one of the worst attack we have seen in the impact level. DDoS, that gives the loss of life impact. So DDoS means multiple requests from the multiple device to the single target. So how to identify this? We can identify through the pattern. If the traffic spikes, you can identify there is a kind of DDoS or DDoS attack happening. So we can identify where the source is. You can check what type of traffic it is, what type of request it is. So like that, there are so many parameters we can analyze with the help of artificial intelligence. So the model is LSTM or autoencoder. So we can use any of this to predict and auto mitigate the security attacks. Okay. So nowadays people are using this kind of mechanism to defend this DDoS attack in most of the traditional security mechanism, not in medical devices, because medical devices are more constrained devices. Constrained in the sense they are very compact, very less energy. The battery size is very low. The processing capacity is very low. They are edge devices, and the memory capacity is also very low. So writing a program in the device level and giving the concrete security is very, very difficult. So we need a certain layer of security like intermediate gateway level security or cloud level security for a continuous monitoring of this data packet pattern, and you can do the auto mitigate process. The third one is the wireless attack. Wireless attack is nothing but incorporating the rogue Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is nothing but the access point. So this it's a wireless access point. So if the particular device is connected to the rogue wireless access point, that is fake wireless access point, what will happen? The sensitive data will be leaked to the wireless access point and it will go to the attacker's hand. So we can identify that with the help of SPM and KNN, use the supervised learning to classify and reject unauthorized wireless links. Then the fourth one is device hijacking. Device hijacking is nothing but taking the control of unauthorized device. Okay, it's called a privilege of escalation. Initially, they will attack the system. They will come into a particular privilege, then they will go to the admin privilege. So in this way, they will hijack the entire device. So we can identify that, we can mitigate that with the help of artificial intelligence. Isolation forest and decision tree is the good option to work with those kind of data, and we can identify the device hijacking in a proactive manner. Spot the changes in device behavior and alert before the full control is going to the attackers. Then last and final one is the unauthorized access. Unauthorized access is one of the important area that is entry level security. only the right person has to use the right service. If that particular thing is missed, the device will be in danger. Once a particular device is danger in the network, the entire network will be in danger. The entire network is nothing but the organization. The entire organization is relying on these kind of data and devices. So it will go to the huge financial crisis, or data lost, or reputation lost, or loss of life. Okay, so this is the important thing we need to understand when it comes to IoT medical device security. So we can identify the odd lock-in patterns by analyzing the behavior of real-time authentication and data patterns. With the help of random forest and deep learning, we can do the smart access control. We can predict and we can secure the devices from unauthorized access. So these are the five types of, that is major impact creating attack. Not only this five to the medical device, there are so many attacks are there. And nowadays there are new devices are coming into the market, and those are not finally tested. And even though they have tested with, and they have got a proper certification from FDA, so they have certain type of vulnerability, because the system is changing, our network configurations are changing, our internet, the usage of internet is changing. The attack knowledge about that particular device is also available widely. So for example, if I talk about the dark web, so it's available to very small groups a few years back, but now many people know about the dark web. Many people know about how to use the VPN. Okay, so the knowledge about attacks, the knowledge about the security vulnerabilities also increasing. So many attacks are happening, and so this with this I would like to conclude my session. So hope you got small or clear idea about what is IoT, what is medical device, and what are the vulnerabilities in medical device, and what are the type of attacks are available, how to identify the high risk impact creating attack, and finally how to leverage artificial intelligence for